This is Tokyo Scramble. Welcome to the Read Manga Series. This is lesson 6 of a series where we read a copyright-free, downloadable edition of Black Jack ni yoろしく by Sato Shuho. A couple of lessons back, I promised you guys a surprise, and we're finally there. So after a short lesson today, relatively short lesson today, I hope you guys stick around for that surprise. I want you guys to see how much you have learned and grown in 6 short lessons, and hopefully it's motivating and inspiring for you guys. Before we get to that, I do encourage you, if you haven't been checking out the vocabulary list with some grammar points and things I've been putting together, in a link in the description, I do have a Google Doc that is up. I add a new tab for every new lesson that I put up, and it might be a good idea. This might be a good opportunity or good timing to go back and review your old vocabulary and old grammar points. And enjoy the end of the video. Enjoy the surprise today. Alright, without further ado, lesson 6, let's get into it. Today's going to be a pretty short and quick lesson, and at the end of today's lesson, I finally got that surprise for you guys, so hang in there, and let's get to it. Last time we finished with 結局金なんだよ. It's all about the money. 社会奉仕でやってるわけじゃねえ. We're not doing it for the people. And we're here with our buddy Saito the next day. Alright, let's get into this. キコ。バイト代は8万円だった。バイト is short for アルバイト, part-time work. 代, like 代金, the payment for it. バイト代は8万円だった。That's the equivalent of about maybe $1,000 now with the exchange rate. たった一晩で研修医としての月給の2倍以上を稼いだ。Alright, let's break this down. たった as like only. So たった一晩で in only one night. たった一晩で in only one night. 研修医として。So 研修医として is as a doctor in training. 研修医としての月給。月給 is his monthly salary. 研修医としての月給の2倍。2倍 is twice as much. We did wari and bai earlier, yeah? So 月給の2倍以上 over を稼いだ。稼ぐ is to earn money. That's like, when you earn money, 稼ぐ。お金を稼いだ。One more time. たった一晩で in only one night. 研修医としての月給の2倍以上を稼いだ。So, earned more than double his monthly salary as a doctor in training in a single night. 昨日も睡眠時間3時間。昨日も yesterday as well. 睡眠 is like sleep. 睡眠時間 is how long you were asleep. 3時間 3 hours. 昨日も睡眠時間3時間. I only had 3 hours of sleep yesterday again. ゴシゴシ is the sound of like washing or scrubbing. この世で一番不健康なのは研修医だな。この世で in this world, 世 is like world. この世で in this world, 一番 the number one. Fu is a really common word. It's like it negates. It's like the negative of whatever comes after it. So, fu kenko, kenko na is healthy. So, fukenko is unhealthy. You'll notice this fu kanji in a lot of other words. This fu kanji right here. It like busoku, you might hear it pronounced as bu or fu. So if something is busoku shiteru, there's not enough of it. It's tarinai. Fukenko is not healthy. Fuben is like bendy means convenient. Like something is fuben is it's inconvenient. There's so many words that have this fu at the beginning of it. So if you ever see that, it's kind of like negates whatever comes after it. Fukenko na no wa. Fukenko na no wa. What is the most unhealthy thing is kenshui da na. It's gotta be doctors in training. So doctors in training have got to be the most unhealthy things in the world, in this world. De? This is like spoken Japanese is for like, and ma, sore de? People just say, de? Like, and? So, そっちはどうだったバイト This is a great example of how, to be honest, grammar, like order of words, doesn't really matter too much in Japanese at all. そっちはどうだったバイト Like if you're studying Japanese, you'll probably see the grammar, like the sentence structure would look something more like そっちのバイトはどうだった or something like that. But in spoken Japanese, you can mix things up pretty bad, and it actually doesn't matter too much. Word order doesn't matter too much as long as you have the correct participles attached. だったは So, そっちは How about you? どうだった How was it? バイト Your work, part-time work. Gosh. And Saito doesn't look too happy. Ten. He doesn't want to talk about it. カラ誰だろうまた亡くなっちゃったんだな亡くなっちゃったんだな誰だろうI wonder who it is. I wonder who it was. 誰だろう I wonder who it is. また again 亡くなっちゃったんだなSo 亡くなる is to die. You know, there are different words for die, like shinu. Shinimas is the literal word for dying. But like shibo suru, that's also to die. If you're just talking about, those are really strong, dark words. So using them can feel kind of inappropriate at times. So it's more often appropriate to say something like nakunaru, nakunachatta. In this case, yeah. So this is kind of, I guess it's more. It's not so strong. It doesn't come off as like so in your face, like someone's dead. Nakunachatta da na. Also, like inakunachatta, inakunatta, and nakunatta sounds really close to each other. You have to be careful when you're speaking. So like, inakunaru, inakunaru is like just not being there, like he went somewhere else. Nakunaru is like dying. So even though it's like really close to each other, be careful, there's a big difference. 受け取っちゃっていいのかなこの8万円 So again, the grammar is all messed up. Usually you'd say この8万円を受け取っちゃっていいのかな Or in regular Japanese, it would say like この8万円を受け取ってもいいのかなまあ、取っていいんですかね Something like that. So, is it really okay? Is it really okay? Is it okay? Kana? Is it really okay for me to accept this money, this 8万円? So to break this down really fast, ukeru, this is coming from the verb ukeru, ukeru. And uketoru is to take something, like to receive money, to like take something in, to receive something and take it. So it's okay for me to take this money. 受け取る。受け取っていいのかな would be like just a basic form. I wonder if it's okay for me to take this. We talked about like the shimao. 受け取ってしまっていいのかな This shimao would be like, can either mean doing something earlier and ahead of time or doing, has kind of like a negative connotation. So in this case, it's like a negative, kind of a negative thing, right? So, 受け取ってしまっていいのかな 受け取っちゃって is a spoken form of shimao. So putting it all together, it's like 受け取っちゃっていいのかな This chao, chatte, chao, is the same as shimao. So it's kind of like a negative connotation. Like, is it really okay for me to do this bad thing of taking this money? 受け取っちゃっていいのかな So all of these kind of like variations on the verb just change the nuances, basically. 受け取っていいのかな seems a lot lighter. 受け取っちゃっていいのかな is there something negative about it. いいんじゃねえのそんだけ働いたんだし This is like a lot of really great spoken Japanese here. So いいんじゃねえのいいんじゃないいいんじゃない is like, that's okay, right? Isn't it good? Just go for it. I'm sure it's okay. Sounds good to me, man. I don't know. Sounds good to me. いいんじゃねえの Isn't it okay? いいんじゃないそんだけ Remember earlier remember that lady that was flopping around and she said, こんだけ呼ばれてるなら大丈夫だよ was the line from earlier. So, こんだけ and そんだけ like you worked that much. そんだけ that much そんだけ that much 働いたんだし She, ending the words with like she or dashi is really common. When you're learning, like officially learning Japanese grammar, she actually means and. But if you add she or like dashi on the end of like this, at the end of a phrase or the end of a sentence, it gives the feeling to the sentence of like, I mean, like in English, if you put like, I mean, you did work that much. You did put in the work. I mean, you did put in that work. So that, I mean, you did something, something, something is basically represented by this shi or dashi. そんだけ働いたんだし I mean, you did put in all that work. だけど but こんなお金 this money 僕は汚い大人になんかなりたくない汚い大人なりたくないなんかなりたくない So, なりたくない I don't want to become なんか something I won't become anything like a dirty adult grown-up. I don't want to become a dirty grown-up. And this dirty doesn't really mean like literally dirty. It just means like, he wants to be the type of person who's making money for the right reasons and not making money on people's lives. He obviously isn't very happy with how the hospital system works. 俺さ、正直言って医者になりたいって思ったことないのよ。え He's saying like here. え俺さ、I need to honestly, 正直言って、if I'm to be totally honest with you, just honestly saying, 医者になりたい。I want to be a doctor. て Remember, if you have this te or to, you always put the things in front of it in like little quotation marks. So, 医者になりたいて 思ったことない. I never thought once that I actually wanted to be a doctor. I never thought that I wanted to be a doctor. I never thought that doctor になりたい. I never want to be a doctor. No yo. This ending is just one way you can end sentences. It's actually much more common for women to end their sentences in no yo. You can, like men, there are endings that like technically men can use. Like ending is something in like dawa or wa, or ending it in no or no yo. As a foreigner learning Japanese, I would be careful with it because you have a better chance of making, if you're a male, using these phrases, you have a better chance of making yourself sound very feminine. Whereas like a native kind of can tell the difference. So like I guess it's a lot easier to tell when it's appropriate or when it works or when it doesn't. So I wouldn't recommend if you're like a man and you don't want to sound super feminine, I wouldn't recommend using this, but in this case it works. He's kind of opening up. 正直言って医者になりたいって思ったことないのよ。え？受験 This is like an entrance exam, and Japan is all about entrance exams. I grew up in America, so we didn't have entrance exams. They have juken. You can juken into middle school, into high school, into preschools. They have juken for preschools. For colleges, these entrance examinations to get into different schools are really big in Japan. It's just part of the culture here. Juken senso. Senso is a war. Juken senso no escalator. に乗って Okay, so in Japan, like escalator means just escalator, but it's commonly used to refer to something in a school system. So escalator shiki, like it refers to like schools that are attached to each other. So there's places where you can do juken to get into the elementary school or the middle school. And if you get in, you're basically on an escalator that just takes you right all the way up through the system. So a lot of parents drive themselves crazy and put their children into these things called cram schools. They have these 5-year-olds going and studying after first grade. They go to these cram schools and study until, 9 p.m. or something. Maybe not 9 p.m., but like 8 p.m. And they're trying to get ready for these entrance exams to get into a school that is escalator shiki, so that they're just like they can just coast all the way through to an amazing career at the end. Sorry, that was a bit long-winded, but it's just something that you have to understand about, I guess, Japanese culture, just how Japan works. 受験戦争のエスカレーターに乗ってひたすら This is a good word ひたすら上を目指してさ So ひたすら is just like keep on going and going. You just keep on pushing, keep on going. 上を目指す to aim upwards. I just kept on shooting for the stars, kept on aiming upwards. Sa, we're just connecting to something else. ひたすら上を目指してさ、気づいたら医者になってた。So 気がついたら this one was like, so in this case 気がついたら just means like before I knew it or by the time I realized it. 気がつく means to realize something, but 気がついたら means, by the time before I knew it or when I realized it, I was a doctor. Now this tara can be used in two different ways. One can be as like a conditional phrase. Something like お金あったら行けたのに if I'd only had money. So tara can be used as a conditional, but it can also be used to, in this case, to say like after that, like at that time, like when something happened, like right after that. 気がついたら so right after I, realized it, before I knew it, when I realized it, 医者になってた. So you have to be aware that there's two different types of tara. A conditional one and one that kind of just says like after that happened or when that happened. 医者って一体何なんだろうな。A doctor って Remember, just put this doctor in quotation marks. 一体何なんだろうな。一体何なんだろう is a phrase you can just remember. It just means like, what the hell is it? Like, seriously, what the hell is a doctor? Like, what is this? 一体何なんだろう。一体何なんだろうな。What the hell is it? That's it. You made it. Okay, so today wasn't too bad. There was a lot of little points. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. As always, I leave vocabulary words and grammar points in a Google file. I just update, I add a new tab for each lesson, so I hope you guys find that useful. Leave any comments, let me know what you think, and stick around for that surprise. You guys did great. I'm looking forward to starting onto the next section of the series. Okay, so as promised, the surprise. Since Black Jack ni Yoroshiku was copyright free, there's actually a lot of people out there doing some really cool things. So I will be linking a video somewhere up here to a totally different channel where a Japanese voice actor has put together and done a really awesome job of putting together the first 6 lessons of the Read Manga series. So check out this video. I think you'll be surprised with how much you understand. If you don't understand, come back, watch the Read Manga series again, double check your grammar, double check your vocab, and just keep watching. I think you guys are going to enjoy, and you're going to be surprised with how much you understand. So great work, keep it up, and I'll see you guys at lesson 7.